I have, again, made some changes to my studio. I have moved my paint down below, which on this little cart, which I will show you. But I'm kind of excited about this because it took it, I don't know if you can see me, off my desk, off my desk. So that was nice to give me a little bit more space up on my desk. Today we're gonna go back to working on these two floral paintings and just get into it. Just get into it. I didn't do any painting on this or any of these this week. I was just working on other things in my day job, and I had some appointments and other things, so I didn't get a chance. So I'm back here just in the studio with you, which this is why I love this commitment so much. It's because I get to do this. You know, you help me do this. You help me stay committed to doing this. So I'm excited. So we're going to work on this. The first thing I'm going to do is paint this background. And then we will paint this vessel, and we'll probably do some of the stems and then let this one go to dry, and then work on the other one. So yeah, this is very exciting. And yeah, I'll show you a full shot of the studio. And I thought today maybe we could talk a little bit about like why doing art matters, like why it matters. Why does all this matter? Like, why do all of this? Anyway, so I've been thinking about it a lot, and maybe we'll get into that today too. So welcome to the studio. For this background, I really think I do want to, we had gotten tiny tinges of blue on here, and I thought, oh, I do like that. I do, but kind of a really light, maybe minty blue is kind of what I was thinking. So I'm going to mix that. I'm going to use the ultramarine blue, a little of that, a little of this blue green, and oh gosh, this white, which is just not really even white anymore. But I think this, you know, it's got so much blue in it, I think it'll be fine. I probably could just use that white, actually. Last week, we gessoed this to get the background out. So that's sort of where we left that, and it needed to dry. So yeah. So I've been thinking about, so why do this art? Why do it? Why make art? So for those that have been following along, I shared like I haven't painted. I started painting at 50 and I'm 55. And so like it was part of, had been in therapy for a long time, and it was like this feeling I had like, oh, I think I could do this. Like, I think I could paint, and I think I could draw, and I think I could, you know, I could do this. And so I, you know, pretty much committed to doing it. Like, okay, this is part of my life now. It's part of who I am. I do art every day in some capacity. So for the first, you know, firstly, I would say for me that art is part of my healing, like my, you know, my heart and my soul and past stuff and current stuffs. It's part of my healing practice. And so it's important. It's important to do. And I know that a lot of people, myself included, can sometimes have a hard time doing art when they're, oh, that's a nice blue. Look at that. Yeah, that's a nice it'll be a nice contrast, I think, to the bright pinks and reds and yellows that we'll have going on in the flowers. Anyway, so it's healing. And I know that people have a hard time sometimes when they're feeling depressed or, you know, the events of the day, personal, global, you know, whatever. It can be a lot, and art can sometimes be the thing that goes. Like, they'll be like, oh, I can't get to my easel. I don't want to get in my sketchbook. I don't want to do any of that. And for me, I want to say like almost trained myself into knowing that when I most think I don't want it, I don't want to do it, is the time I most need to do it. So for me, it's part of feeling better. So if I'm depressed or anxious, I don't actually really get depressed very often. That's not part of my personal makeup, but I do get anxious. I have a lot of anxiety. And so it helps with that. It helps. And so, yeah, I just make that commitment to myself that I know that this practice works. And so to, do it. The only way you can make art is to actually do it. It's not about talking about it. It's not about thinking about it. It's about actually doing it. So that's that. Why else do I think making art matters? Like, why does it matter? Why does it matter for people who are both, professional, amateur, everything in between? I think humans, actually humans, are made to make things. I think that that's part of our core who we are. I think expressing ourselves through making is vital to the human spirit. And I think that's part of the wonderful thing about being human is that we have this capacity to make things. And so it's with that spirit also, I think it's important to make things, knowing that it's, kind of our destiny or birthright or whatever you want to call it. We're supposed to be making stuff. And so that's the other thing. Oh, there's so many shadows when I do this. Sorry about the lighting. It's like I told you before in another video, it's fall here and I have a lot of lights. Thank goodness for my son-in-law who has given me lights, and I really appreciate that. But there's going to be shadows because I'm still working out like how we do that. But anywho, so human spirit. That's one of the reasons. Why else do I think making art matters? I think beauty is important. So it's funny. I'm a casual lover of astrology. Like I grew up with it, like so many people, like reading your horoscope, and I kind of delight in it, and I love the language of it. So, I'm not an adherent where I, don't do things on certain days, or that's not my jam, but I do love the language of it. And it tickles me. And I happen to be a Libra. And if you know anything about astrology, I'm one of the signs that's really attracted to beauty. And for a long time, I kind of discounted that. Like, I was like, oh, that's silly. Like, it's just a silly idea, beauty. Like, come on. But really, I am attracted to beautiful things. And I'm not talking about things. So the interesting thing with me is it's not about like beautiful things in the sense of like fancy things. I mean, I do like a nice, well curated space or whatever, but that's not the beauty I'm mostly interested in. I'm interested in like the beauty of nature, the beauty of people's spirit, the beauty of what I can make with my hands. Like, a well-made soup in my life is a beautiful thing, beautiful ingredients, beautiful, the experience of it being beautiful, making it. I am attracted to that. And I just always laugh because, that's my horoscope says that I would be attracted to that. Anyway, whether you believe in, astrology or not, I just think it's kind of funny when it's like, oh yeah, I do kind of think that's important. So beauty as an expression and an orientation. So orienting yourself towards things that are beautiful, finding the beauty, that's kind of the realm of that I take. No, that feels a little too blue, but you know what? We're going to let that dry, that background dry. I do love the texture on it. I do love that. We'll let that dry and then we'll see if we want to make that maybe a little greener. I don't know. I don't know yet. So we're going to leave it. We're going to leave that like that. So mental health, human nature, and beauty. So those are the three things that I can think of. There must be two more. Let me think. Let me think about that. Let me get the gesso out and do this, gesso this pot. And then I'll be thinking about why else I think making art matters. That's great. So that's gessoed. I'm actually going to set this one down and pull the other painting up, and we'll let this dry, and then we can put in some of the stems, and then yeah, let's keep going. Let's see what we got. But let's go ahead and put this down for now. I'll pull this up. This is curled a bit, so I'm going to tape these down. Let me tape these down, and oh, there's a lot going on here. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So I think for this, I want to I know I've told you, it's been a while since I've done an abstract floral or a loose floral. So I'm having to like think about like, what do I want to do next, or how I want to approach this. And I think what I want to do here is I want to work on some of these flower shapes. So let me pull some, I'm going to pull some yellows, a red, and maybe a pink, and let's see what we can do with that. These brushes are a bit of a mess. It's a lot of paint. I may need to wash them, but let's see what we got. There might be remnants of blue, which is fine. It's fine. I'm actually going to use this palette paper, which I found that I've probably had for 20 years. I'm going to put a little bit of those colors on here, and then I can mix right on there some different colors and see how we go. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of pink. I may get some of that buff color. A little pyrrole red, always favorite. And titanium buff. What do we got? Yeah, that's that golden titanium buff. We'll get a little bit of that. Wow, it's so clean. It's so clean. I don't know if you can see, but that won't last, you know, in my world. That won't. I mean, I will try. I'll try my best. I will try my best, but no guarantees. Okay. So I think I have a fourth why making art matters. I think we create the world. This is a bias from the work that I do. So some of you know, I'm a downtown community organizer. I do downtown development, and I am And in that work, I see how we create our existence. Like, we make it happen. There aren't outside people. So this is a bias. Some people believe other people are, in charge of the world and they're making it how they're going to make it. And you're just reacting to all of that. And I believe, because of the work that I do, that we are actually the creators of our worlds. We create it. And so doing art helps you create the world that you want. That it comes directly from that work. And I understand that, not everyone has that same bias, and they might not think art is important. Some people may not think art is important, but I think it is. I think that if you want a beautiful world filled with, thought and joy and, even commentary on difficult things, art is where it's at. Art is where that all happens. Art is the antidote. Art is it. So that's the reasoning. That would be my fourth reason as to why I think making art is important. And it's informed by doing community work. I see the difference that my community has. We're an arts destination, we're an arts community, and I see the difference that art makes. People are happier, people have more expression and joy, people are creating a life that they want to live and be part of, or visit, where people come to visit. And I see the value of that. And so, yeah, I think you make your world. You make your world. And I want to make a world that includes art, and I'm creating that world. I'm part of that. You are too. I believe we all are. I'm not the creator. I am part of it. I am part of it. And so it's interesting. I think that's an interesting bias to have, that I don't think the world is happening to me. I think I'm a co-creator of the world, basically, and you are, and everyone who dares to make something. And so, yeah, that would be reason number 4. That's reason number 4. Yeah. So as these flower shapes build, and they will build over time. I could see that this painting will take maybe 2 or 3 more sessions. They will build over time. These flowers will begin to have more depth, but this is a good first start. This kind of gives me an idea of what those flower shapes may be looking like. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far. Yeah, I'm loving it so far. Again, I'm using this Simply Simmons size 6 round brush, and I want more of these, like in every size. I love them. I love them. I'll be placing an order and doing an art haul video soon from Blick, and these will different sizes, plus probably a couple more of this same size will be in. Oh, I'm loving these. I am loving these. Okay. So part of this process is I have to let this dry, right? I have to let this dry. So I'm going to let that dry. Let's pull up the other painting and see if we can get some of those stems in. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's exciting. I love it. I love it. Okay. This one's so different. This is my true joy of working on 2 paintings, 3 paintings, 4 paintings at the same time that are similar but different, is that they just love this process. I just love, they kind of develop on their own. I just really enjoy that. Okay, I'm going to take this Jenkins green, which was recommended to me by Anne Livingston. But I'm also going to mix it with some yellow, I think, and maybe whatever else I have here. So not just straight out of the tube. We're gonna mix it. And this is why I want like a smaller one of these. This is the size 4. I want like a 2, I think. So let me see what I have. I organized my brushes and that helped, I have to say. That was a helpful thing. This one's pretty good. This is a Blick Scholastic bristle, so a school grade, round. This is also, I think these are all hog's bristle, which is sort of my favorite because I like how rough they are. But this is a 4 round. If you've watched, you know, part of my frustration with brushes in the art world is that it's mayhem. There's no set, like every brush company labels their brushes their own way. And that's fine, except it's frustrating because what one person's for is not the same as another company's for, right? So, and I'm buying my brushes online because I don't have an art store that has the selection of brushes in person. So, I'm hoping when I look at them online that they're going to be, I don't know, similar. Anyway, it's always a gamble. It's always a gamble. I never really know. Oh, remember, so this is canvas, and there's a difference. So I'm just doing the base of these flowers, sort of, it'll give me an idea when I'm painting the flower. This had no green. Remember, this was the difference on this particular painting. The other painting, we went ahead and hopefully put some leaf shapes in there. Maybe, we'll see. This one did not have that. And so that's the difference in these two paintings. And this was also an experiment for me to see what I liked better, because I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've done a floral. And so I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to like better. So, yeah. I do like that Jenkins green. I mixed it with just a little of that azo yellow. I don't know if it's azo or azo. Someone tell me in the comments. Yeah, I do like it. I like the depth of that green is very pretty. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, so you can sort of see already where the shapes are coming. Yeah, it's great. That is great. These are going to be so pretty. You're like, are they? It's all right if you feel that way. It's all right if you feel that way. Let's see if we can put some base of the green on the other one. We can go ahead and do that. Set that aside. Get a little bit more of that green. I am liking this palette paper. Let me show you kind of the mess it makes, but I kind of like it. Like that. I do kind of like it. I kind of like that and then it's kind of like wax paper. I think if I had a roll of wax paper, I might be able to do the same thing. I mean, I'll use this up because I have this, but I think if you had wax paper, it would have the same quality. Well, that's nice. Yeah, this will help define these a little bit too, so that as we're like building these flowers, you won't see all of this probably, but it'll give us a good start. Like what's the bottom and what's the top? And what's one flower and what's another flower? Yeah. So the fifth reason I think making art is important is noticing. So for those that watch the videos that I make midweek, you might know that I have been meditating for 30 years. And part of my mindfulness or meditation practice is noticing. It's noticing. And making art is a tremendous way to notice the world around you, shapes, colors, textures, and it makes the world kind of come alive. And I think that can't be understated enough. This practice, you know, whether you're doing still life, like with actual things in front of you, or you are, you know, or you are not. It just has that ability where you are noticing the world around you. And I think that's important. I think this is a glorious planet, and with vibrancy and people, and I get such pleasure of noticing it. And so I think for me that is a big part of it. I think that's a big part of it. And so yeah, I think noticing this glorious world that we live in is one of the treasures of doing art. And so I'm grateful to have that experience. Yeah. So you can see I'm also using this Jenkins green. There are a few pretty obvious leaf shapes that I've been able to pull out here. And so I'm using the Jenkins to do that. And so that's very fun. That's very fun. That's part of doing this abstract in the back, is that I am able to take some of those shapes and use them. Yeah, nice. Nice. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying this. This will have to dry. That green, I don't want to touch anything and have it be muddy, but I am liking it. I'm liking how it's coming along. Yeah, I am. Next time what will happen is we'll work more on the flowers. We may work on this background. And on this one, let's see, pull this up. On this one, we will do the flowers and work on the vase. And so this is coming along really rather quickly, honestly. I may need to get some more canvases prepped or some more paper prepped and figure out what our next project is. But yeah, wherever you are, I hope you're doing art. I hope that you are making time for it, viewing it, looking at it, sharing it with others, immersing yourself in the beauty of what people make. And it's just such a delight in being human. And, you know, I can't say enough that what you put into yourself, into your mind, into your heart and your soul is also what you put out. And so take the time to look at something gorgeous. And I'll see you in the studio next Sunday.